this introspective place. So, okay, great. Well, welcome to your practice and to your own presence and this divine time of, personal. You use the word growth, personal growth. Let's grow. And bring your hands together at your heart or on your lap or on your any place it needs to be. And then feel this breath as you inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, close your eyes, drop your chin, release your jaw. And bathe yourself with this quiet of your breath. Even feeling this energy of your breath, filling this energetic bubble around you. With your eyes closed, imagining this good energy, this growth of each breath filling your space. Feeling or saying to yourself, this is a good space to be in right now. And then bringing that attention back into your own body. And even bringing that back in, this is a good space to be in right now. And then we'll fill this body up and fill your space up with the resonance of sound. Chant Om together 3 times. So begin with a full inhale. Release it completely. And inhale. Om. 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 Bow your chin, release your hands to your thighs, lift your chin, and open your eyes. Okay, all right, we're actually going to start lying down. Over that, my knees. And I'm going to have the bolster. We're going to have 2 blocks nearby. Okay, so I'm thinking like I do want to put a little lift under the bolster, but maybe we're just going to start with the bolster down, and I'm just going to take this blanket and just give it like a trifold fold, so it's not, I didn't round it, it's flat. Okay, so let's see how this goes. This is okay. So I'm just going to take this, and then you can make this smaller. You could also turn it if you know that your head and your chest need a little more support. And oh yeah, okay. This could be the money. This could be it. So I have the bottom end of that blanket is just, feels like it's just at the shoulder blades. Head is supported. Got this, and then if you need to add, or if you want to add an extra blanket under your hips, I say that, and I'm like, I can do that. And I'm just going to open this blanket up and I'll lie down, lift the hips, and just pull this blanket underneath me. Okay. Oh yes. Okay. These just naturally come out. That maybe you're doing that too. And then move yourself a little forward and back. You can rock a little side to side. This is what I was looking for. Is can we just move ourselves a little bit here, like take this little ride and snuggle in, and then let your hands relax and I'll see you in a few minutes. It's just, you feel that just, whew, energy, that good energy bubble is just gently, weighing you down like a beautiful weighted blanket. You feel this little lift of your heart, maybe the forehead, chin. You can imagine they might not be perfect, but like in good alignment. Forehead, chin, heart. Just sinking in. So I'm just going to go over the touchstones here. So the bottom of the bolster is resting into your low back, sacrum area. And then knees bent or legs straight, that's your choice. And then this little blanket is just supporting just between the tips of the shoulder blades. You can feel that maybe the soft of your waist is able to release a little bit. Head supported, shoulders are dropping off. And just bathing ourselves with the breath here. Imagining that you're in your own little boat. Each breath is a bobbing on the waves. And just stay exactly as you are. And just take your attention to your shoulders, tops of the shoulders, sides of the shoulders. And just follow without doing anything. You're just setting your attention there. You're just going to feel the movements that are happening here with each breath. That might expand into the backs of the ribs, front of the ribs. Just noticing. When we set the body up to rest, we're not involved as much. The body knows what to do. Connecting the breath and simple movement. Okay. So from here, friends, however you are, you're just going to lift your arms up so that they're in line with the shoulders, not up to the sky, just out to the sides. And we're just going to turn the hands all the way one way. The shoulders move free, and then all the way the other way. If you feel you want to add a little, swifting the arms down and up into a little sacred dance, then do that. But we're just finding a way to get into this shoulder mobility, the connection of, I always talk about the heel hip connection. Here it's like maybe wrist shoulder connection. And then once you're in your dance, find or notice that the breath is synced up in some way. Yes. Okay. Next time you bring the arms into whatever place, I'm just going to cross them over the chest. So the left hand's going to hold the front of this right shoulder, and the right hand's going to hold. So it's just like you're in a sarcophagus, like a Egyptian pharaoh, pharaohess. Oh, great warrior. So you just crossed your arms there, and you're just going to allow the weight of the elbows to just gently draw this down. Okay, so stay here, one breath in, and as you breathe out, take your hands and just slide them on the outer upper arms like we do, like, oh, it's so cold out, or, just massage the upper arms, and then find your way to the opposite elbows like we do. And then we're going to press the forearms up to the sky so the shoulders kind of move up. And then just stay here as you press these forearms up and feel your belly maybe draw down. Then on an exhale, we're going to start to take these arms over your head, and they might rest. Oh, no, they're not. Mine are not going to rest on the bolster. That's what I was going to say. You're just going to be here. And even if they're dropping off, if that's okay for you, you can even soften the tops of the shoulders a little bit. maybe a little side to side movement of the rib cage might bring something in. So nice. And then I'm going to release the elbows, extend the arms away from you, stretch your legs if they're straight or whatever you're doing here. And then I'm going to take these arms straight up, open them out to the sides and wherever's comfortable. And if your legs are straight, we're going to bend them now. Okay, adjust whatever you need here. I'm going to turn the palms down. I don't care where the hands go. They're going to go wherever you need them to be to support this. You're going to walk the feet mat distance apart and even move them away from the hips a little bit. And I'm going to start a windshield wiper a little bit to the left so that I feel like the body's almost falling off the bolster. And then we're just going to go side to side. So we want to feel like we're just rolling over this little blanket that we put there and just rolling side to side. Okay, and then I'm just going to challenge the balance a little bit. So this is the action. Maybe the arms come up off the floor and we're going to bring the, like if the knees go to the left arm's going to come overhead, the right arm will just go out to the side. And then we're just going to dance them side to side. So just stretching, moving like a little, I don't know if it's a windmill action, but just shifting yourself. So we're just rolling and twisting and you're grounding yourself a little bit into the prop so that you're not falling over to one side and the other. Oh, so stretch the arms, you know, like this is, waking up from the most delicious nap. Feel your breath. Okay, and then we'll finish off on the right side. Come back, readjust, you know, if you moved a little bit. So the knees are going to stay bent. I'm going to walk the feet hip distance. I'm going to put the hands under the hips like we do, with the fingers really spread, and maybe the thumb and index fingers are facing each other. They don't have to touch. Good. Okay. And then coming back to windshield wiper. So the forearms are on the floor, the elbows are on the floor, the shoulders, I can move them around, they're comfortable. And then we'll come back to windshield wiper and let the jaw go so that anything you're experiencing is being experienced where it is, on your face. Yes. Okay, let's do a few more. So I am going right onto the side. Yes. I mean, that yes is really for me. So I'm like, oh, yes. Like something's happening. Okay. And we'll come back. Just reposition the hands so that the palms are grounded a little bit. And feet are maybe a little wider apart, knees are apart. And I'm just going to move the knees. So I'm going to take the right knee and just press it like it's going to the back of the mat and then bring it back. So it's a very small movement. Let the left knee, you know, just walk, take your knees for a walk. And with your hands where they are, you feel what happens inside. Just be very aware of that. You know, we started by bringing our attention to the movement of the shoulders, and now I want you to feel the movement of your hips here. Good. Come back to center. Walk your feet a little closer together and might come back towards the hips a little bit. Lift the hips, take the hands out, pause so you can feel the energy of the hands. All right, so we're going to lift and lower the hips, and you might just go as high as the bolster. And this prop, if it becomes a hindrance, the blanket, you just take it out. So feel your feet. I like to start with the exhale to just settle down. Just I'm pressing the belly down a little bit. And then the inhale is about the feet, the hips lift. You know, adjust yourself. Maybe you come up nice and high. And then we're going to just do that a few times. So just in your own pace, you want to add the arms. Maybe they come over your head. Reach. Yes. Oh, I like this, you know, you feel all like getting a big massage in the back body. Good. Okay, and I'm gonna do one more. Might even hang out in the lift for a couple breaths. See if I can soften the glutes a little bit. So it's almost like, the hip creases drop in a little bit. Hanging. And then as you're ready, friends, lower yourself all the way down. Okay, we're gonna come up. So before we do that, let's see. Take your hands behind your head, just lift the head. And then take your hands and maybe they just rest on your thighs here. You could bring your knees in. We're gonna use momentum with the legs to come up. So I've lifted the legs. Here's me without lifting the legs and root abdominals. See. Then we'll come up and wow, okay. Take a moment. I think we need a twist after that, and we have this set up, so I'll stay with that. Okay, I just took the blanket, just opened it, folded it in half. Go anyway. Let's see, we've got this blanket underneath. You didn't put that there, put it there. Oh, as soon as I get here, I'm like, oh yeah. So it's just this moving here. So you can put your legs however you like. Let the hip move and come back and keep your hands grounded. Just we're gonna twist over this bolster pose we know. Feel, you're inviting it in. All right, before we move on and do the twist, turn yourself, so you're still sitting, I was thinking yesterday, we only shoulder check left, no shoulder check right. And so with sitting up here, start to turn your head to the right and move your eyes to the right. Drop your jaw. Maybe you soften that outer left hip a little bit. So somehow, might be lifting, it's all good. Good. Okay. And then from here, you can release the head. Walk yourself out over this bolster. You want to make it higher, and put the blanket in closer. And then, pull yourself over. Prop your hands on the bolster. Turn your head any direction that feels good. You can also open your arms out. Sometimes it's fun to just see, maybe one arm bent, one out is better for me now. Or today, arms overhead. It feels good. Now you're in it. You have this bolster. Maybe there's a little bit of waving. You might find some movement, or you might be still. Just playfully curious. At this time now, just focus on really receiving the props. Melting yourself in. And in that way, we're inviting in the twist to be softened into. And then, always after a few breaths here, sometimes there's room to open. So keep your eyes closed. Press yourself up and twist a little more. You might move the bolster over too. Find, again, just coming back. And then you can deepen the twist without coming up. You can take that top leg, the left leg, and just bring that thigh back a little bit more. Inviting in mantra. This is a good place to be right now. Scanning for any tension you're holding, the shoulders, the jaw, side of your waist. Inviting in the breath. So our final few breaths. I'm going to take my left arm and just bring it a little bit more over, so it's over my head. I'm just sliding it more to the right. So I get a little bit more opening through the left side, and the arm can be extended, it can soften. Take maybe 3 more. Bathe yourself in your breath. If you added in all those extra stretches of the left hand and the left leg, just start to bring them back. And if you turned your head to the right, bring it back. Just let the neck, everything else just settle. And we'll walk our hands back and press into the floor with the shoulders like you're doing cobra as you come up. Good. And then immediately, once you come up, we'll just turn around. You just want to sit for a moment. I'm just going to go opposite cross of the legs. Close your eyes, let your hands rest, and just feel deep internal work. You remember a time, we all had our gym times, right? So nothing gets a gym. I just like to pick on it. But you know, this idea of no pain, no gain. This idea, if I'm not sweating, I'm not working. And my heart's not pumping so hard that I can barely breathe. I haven't done anything, right? And just smile. Okay, so I'm just stretching the legs out. I'm going to move the feet a little bit side to side, and then we'll do twist second side. So bolster is movable. You can go any way. Just going to line it up with that right hip, and we're going to start with that invitation. And because we did such a deep twist on the other side, you know, you might be, oh, that's interesting. It's moving almost like you're pumping life into the abdomen and the left side here. So just moving, we take the right hip and let it move to whatever this is. You know, hands on the floor if you need it, maybe hands lifted, you're like, all good. Okay. I'm going to do one last one. You're going to turn the chest and we'll put the hands down and let that right hip lift. And then I'm going to do a little shoulder checks and pull the left shoulder back. We all are going to pull our left shoulder back and just look over your left shoulder. Take your eyes to the left. And breathe here. I'm also pressing back. I must say that, you know, pressing the heart back, taking the chin in, softening the jaw. And then from here, you just walk yourself in. You know, move your stuff. That blanket, I have it here. You can have it somewhere else. You can have it underneath. Just going to find whatever works. Hands on the bolster. Or you can start like that. The face doesn't have to turn. Let's full twist. So you're just creating for yourself optimal space. Inviting the body here. First few moments are just the invitation. And once you feel yourself settle, and the breath has room to expand and contract a little more gently. And that's the moment that you go, okay, let's see if I can go a little deeper. Maybe I can twist a little more. Remove the bolster. And then just, you know, be there. You can add this walking of the top leg, the right leg back. If you want to move more, and you don't have to wait until almost the end, but that right arm can even stretch up and over and flat. But if that feels like it's too much, you go, okay, I'll just settle for a few breaths and then give it a try. And this is my tighter side, so you have one side for sure that's tighter than the other. Even just shoulder checking only left. gonna affect something on the right side, so. If you're right-handed, left-handed, all that good stuff. And the gentleness of your place here, your state of mind, your breath. Just feel like you're bathing whatever is awakened or awakening, or not sure if it wants to come to this party, just bathe it. Coax it. As we move into our final few moments, you might adjust our right arm and leg. You can find a deeper stretch. Another deeper invitation, or widen the opening in some way. Just if you've gone to that deeper place, just release it back now. You might bring that right thigh or leg back in, turn your head, and be in the softer beginning of this absorption time. You feel ready, so if you're like, oh, I'm still absorbing, stay there. You're good. Side. Take it left here. Okay. Nice. Turn. Part series. Okay, we're gonna turn. You can stretch the legs out. Have this blanket here. If you need something extra to sit on, just throw it underneath. Okay, I have the bolster here in the middle. We all have our bolster here. If you have some back stuff, this might be better. Put it underneath the knees. Kind of see. You're gonna take these blocks. So no bolt, you can have the bolster however you like. And then we're gonna take the blocks. Just gonna place them. Actually, I'll go, like for me, I know that's a good height. That's where we're going. So you can use the bolster, you can use your blocks, you can build your house. And we'll start just by sitting. Okay, so I'm just gonna demo here. I talk about it. Maybe put the blanket underneath. If you put the blanket underneath your hips, then you start to bring in this like little bit of a cow pose. That might be exactly what you need. And the bolster under the knees might be very helpful. I'm just perching on the front, but you might want to move on the back and just feel. Okay, so from here, we're going to take the arms out to the sides and stretch them. Lift your heart, and then like your little palms are sunflowers, you just turn them up as if the sun is right above you. And see if you can even, you might put a bend in your elbows and feel, oh, you can take the shoulders down and back a little bit. And keep the bend in the elbows, open it up. And on your inhale, friends, reach out with the palms facing each other. And as you exhale, we'll open the arms out, and they might come onto the thighs, the hip, by the hips or in front, and just kind of walk yourself in wherever you need to be. maybe we do a little bit of side to side. So I have hands on thighs here, just moving yourself, your shoulders, inviting this in. Okay. Knowing you might have to adjust your blocks and bring yourself in and however they need to go to support your forehead. So here I've kind of just moving my leg out and then the angle here, it's going to bring the block and angle and support the forehead. That's on the highest height. It's the place where you feel your forehead is supported. You can almost, like the poses we were doing a moment ago, you can let yourself melt in it. Okay, if the backs of the legs aren't happy, move your feet around a little bit and invite them in here. Okay, legs. I'm inviting you in. And then they eventually want to come to a place where the legs are just the anchor, nice and soft. You're not rooting so much and you're not tightening. Those can kind of support the blocks too. If you have them at a really high height, you're worried that they come out. Use your nails to hold the blocks. And then if you think you can go deeper, you just push the blocks away or whatever prop you have and just get a little longer through the, I'm going to say through the spine, but maybe it's from the tailbone, getting a little longer up to the breastbone. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a stretch happening in the legs that you can focus on and breathe into. And softening all the muscles in the face. Third eye, feeling the forehead supporting. Scan yourself, any place you're holding tension. Sometimes you need that, so you can acknowledge it. Thank you, protecting this part of my body. Or this part doesn't need to be protected. And let it go. With the forehead supported now, I'm just going to bring the inner gaze to rest on the inside of the forehead. Your inner gaze is resting on the block as well. And you might notice when you do that, you move your eyes inside your head. Something corresponds. There is movement. Maybe at the back of the heart, someplace. Dropping yourself in. Last few breaths here. Maybe there's space to go a little deeper, even towards the end. Moving the blocks forward. That's there. To come out, you might have to take your hands first to the blocks and then we'll walk ourselves out. And again, we're just going to sit and bask. So hold your legs in. Take that seat of the yogi, very present to softening. How often in your previous life would you put pressure on the forehead unless there was something happening? You can feel that that's an immediate stress release, softens everything. Okay, I'm going to take seated cat-cow. I'm going to take these blocks. I'm just going to bring them behind. You're going to see wherever they need to go. Legs can stay crossed. They can go this way. I'm going to sit in Virasana. I know, if that's your jam, go ahead and do that. However you want to sit. We'll just take the blocks behind so we can open. We're just going to do a little bit of cat-cow sitting. So however you're sitting, knees bent, feet on the floor, whatever it is, about moving from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Be with that. And then if you're like, okay, this is great, I can go a little more. Just going to move the blocks back and continue and just whatever you're doing. It's not mindless. Shoulders are moving, head is moving, heart space is moving, low belly, low back, everything becoming a part of this. Okay. So I'm going to calm down. I'm sitting in Virasana. You're sitting however you're sitting, so it might not be possible. I'm going to bring the blocks in a little bit and I'm going to lift myself up. So I'm going to take the hands to the blocks, open the heart, and come up. If this works, if it doesn't work, let me see, I'm going to do it cross-legged. Be there with you. Oh, look at that. It works. So whatever it is, you could just stay with the cat-cow, lots and lots of value there. And this is just a little bit more for the wrists, more awareness. Maybe one more. Okay, and then we're just going to sit. So you might want to move your wrists around and just bask in that. Even this idea now, we did cat-cow, and now we're sitting in from tail to crown of head, nice alignment, a linear line. Okay, take the blocks. I'm putting them on the lowest height. I'm going to start lowest height, and I have them here like this. I'm going to take our good friend bolster. Hi, bolster. I love you, bolster. And I'm going to put this bolster. So it's mostly this side's coming out, this side a little bit. Okay, then turn. I'm going to take this little blanket out that I'm sitting on. So you just put that there if you need. It's there. All right, let's see if you can see. So I'm just tilting it down. And you're gonna have to adjust. Wiggle my tush right there. And come down. So here's where the head is not as supported. Your good friend blanket's there. We're just gonna do this. Oh yeah. But as you lift the hips, you can let yourself, I'm walking, lifting my head. I'm just gonna move my arms. Lifting my head, walking it down. And there's like a little bridge. So my head is supported by the bolster. If yours isn't, you have blanket. My the sacrum is hitting the end of the bolster here. We're all different heights. Arms over the head if that makes sense, and feet on the floor. Just moving yourself, even so slowly. It doesn't need to be anything major except I'm receiving this great support. Okay. And then maybe you can settle. Your hips don't have to rest on the floor. It's just almost like you're dropping your anchor. Your arms can come down if that's too much. Go out to the side. So my tush is not on the floor. I'm just dropping. And then I'm going to start to wave the hips here, side to side. So the feet are on the floor, knees are up, and I'm just rocking the hips side to side. It's beautiful free space. And I'm going to take the arms out to the side. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. So the next time the hips shift to the left, the right arm's going to come up and the left arm's going to reach out to the side like a big L. And then I'll shift them. So we're just using these props and this nice support of grounding. Just move ourselves. Move with the breath. Stretch here. I mean, in the 19, whatever it was, 90, whatever. We did this at the gym. I'd still be going. Maybe not. Okay, and then come on back and okay, I'm going to just walk the feet in. You're going to shuckle yourself, wiggle yourself down. The head's going to come to the floor, or you put that blanket underneath, and your tush is now on the edge of the bolster, supported by a block or maybe just a little bit. The shoulders are dropping, but maybe not on the floor. So let's see, make sure I'm still in camera. And then you could put the blanket underneath your head if you need to. Feel the shoulders dropping. Just allowing everything to just rest here. So feel supported by the blocks, the bolster, back of head on the floor, on your blanket, arms wherever feels good. I'm just have the knees bent. I'm walking the feet nice and wide. I'm going to bring the knees together. So you pigeon toe the feet a little bit. And if that gives you like, back isn't happy, walk your feet in a little bit or separate the knees. You can also just lift your hips and kind of wiggle your tush very quickly side to side and then come on back, and maybe that's going to be a little bit of release. Hopefully you're reasonably comfortable. The other thing you could do if your back's not happy is to draw the navel up and down a little bit. So you're almost like supporting the low back with the strength of the abdomen. Not hardening, just bringing that in. You might bring it in and release it. So no surprises. This is what's going to happen next. I'm just going to tell you, stay exactly as you are. The next thing I'm going to do is to bring the knees into the chest. And because of the way we're angled, hopefully that's going to feel good. If it's not good, you just come back. So bring the knees in, see how that goes. Right. Fun, hopefully fun. And the hands can come up. Just kind of be there. If that's not good, put the feet back down. The next thing I'm going to do is lift the legs up to the sky. And just moving the legs back a little bit till I feel everything kind of balanced, whatever that means to you. You just feel, if you want to bend your knees, do that. And we'll be here for a few breaths. And I'm going to start to take these legs overhead. So they don't need to go, just moving forward. I'm getting the sacrum's going to lift. Put your hands where you need to support yourself. You might just keep going with the legs. Oh, what's going to happen? Just see. Maybe they're going to come right over your head and maybe not. And they might want to open wider out. Try not to turn your head when you take the legs over. Just want to keep our neck and everything nice. Okay. So wherever you are, think of this as like, just looking for spinal extension, or if the legs are up, and extending through the legs. I'm gonna turn my head and take a little peek, see what's happening. Okay. So whatever it is. Oh, I get your toes to the floor over your head. Okay. And then very gently unfurling. So be very aware of the coming out. How's that gonna be for everything? Take your time, use your hands, use your feet. Once we come down, adjust if you need to. I'm coming to windshield wiper in some way. So because of the lift, it might just be one knee coming in and the other knee. You might get both knees to wave. Just be here. Okay. I'm going to come off of this. So I'm actually going to lift the hips and see if I can just slide the blocks out without coming up. If you can't do that, then come up. And then find yourself resting on your bolster in a way that feels good for you. So I do have the tush on the bolster and the shoulders on the bolster because I have this blanket here. Head is supported. So whatever you've got here, just if you want to put your hips on the floor, that's better for you. Just take a few breaths in this one line here. You can also put a block under your head. Your longer block under your hips. Okay, so we're going to come back to this windshield wiper with the arms. I'm going to call them L arms. They make an L on each side. So find your feet, find your knees, and then start to move into windshield wiper. And the hands can stay on the floor, palms down to support you, and add the arms. So as the knees go to the right arm extends over your head. Maybe the head's turning. one more on each side. And come back to center and take the arms, they're down, not straight down by the sides, but somewhere there to support. Okay, so if you have your sacrum on bolster, great. If you don't, put a block underneath it. We're going to bring the knees back into the chest. So hopefully you're supported, but also floating. How fun. Okay, so you can put your arms back down if you need to. I'm going to rock these knees side to side. I'm holding on. There's a certain amount of balance that has to come in because, you can easily roll off. So you might move your arms in opposition of your knees. And if you're holding knees, that's a whole other thing. Be there. Okay. Good. All right, I'm going to bring the knees in. So come back to center. Open the knees out to the side. Maybe your hands come down to the shin. We're going to draw these knees in as if we're setting up for a happy baby. I might rock them in and out. Feel the tailbone moving. Nice. Okay, I'm going to go to happy baby here. Hopefully with some balance. I'm holding take the thumb, hold the outer edge of the feet. If that doesn't work for you, you can hold the backs of your thighs. Pressing the feet up. At the same time, I'm drawing them down. See if there's space to almost like lift your tailbone, let the knees move down a little bit so that we're more on the mid back. And again, put your hands down if you feel like you're going to roll off. I'm going to start to rock side to side, but so slowly. I might take one, extend one leg, bring the other heel in like we do sometimes. And it's not really a rocking, I guess, because otherwise you'll really topple. So just find some little movement here and just a little bit of rocking happening. Okay, hug these knees in. And then set them back on the floor. So do what you need to do to balance yourself or challenge your balance. Lift your arms in the air and take the feet down and find whatever this is. Good. Okay, you come back up once you're here. Back up to sitting. So your hands can go behind your head. You lift your head. Maybe you reach for your knees and use momentum. Or you just lift yourself up. And then once we come up, go opposite cross of the legs. Let's sit for a moment. And just receive this grounding line. You feel all this weight you brought into the back body, and the back body says thank you. Good. Okay. And take this a bolster here, and we are all moving into a souped up Baddha Konasana. So we're going to lie down with the soles of the feet together, and you might put the bolster underneath your knees and grab your heating pads and your socks and all of that. And then once we have put this blanket down torso, I'm going to put this one is still here. Maybe it's going to stay like that for the head. So the bolster, maybe it goes like this. Maybe you need your blocks if it's not enough, not enough support with the bolster. Block support. So you can take a peek at how I did that, and then it's really going to lift up, and then no pulling on the inner thighs. So coming down like this gives you a pull. And add a block. I'm going to put the block in one more time if you missed it. I'm just going to lean it against the bolster. I'm just going to support this outer thigh. And it's nice. I'm going to make your adjustments so that you feel, yes, this is a good place to be right now. And rest and bask and receive stillness, quiet, space for deep inner listening. feeling the effects of this practice today. This body is just melting into the floor, into the earth. You are here to acknowledge, to feel, through all your, I say sensual, but sensual, not sexual. Sensual is in taking your senses and bringing them inside, deepening your awareness to how the body feels. It's ultimate doorway to self-care. How do I feel? What do I need right now? This is a good place to be. So welcome to stay in Baddha Konasana. If you have the blocks there, you feel just dropping in. If you have the bolster without the blocks, you might take yourself into a cross-legged so that the knees and maybe the feet are supported on the bolster and kind of play around there. I'm tucking my feet in, just letting the knees rest on the bolster, and take a few moments here and then change to cross of the legs. You cross, just changing the cross of the legs. Experiencing these little shifts. What shifts with that? And we're going to settle into Shavasana. So this might be it for you, might be perfect. Or you'd like to stretch your legs out with some space, just create a little bit of movement just to drop in and be in that place of equilibrium. Above as below, as within, as without. As the universe, so the soul. As you drop in, even imagining you have that block at the third eye and a bit of weight there, and you bring your inner gaze to rest in the inside of the third eye. We're softening even more deeply through the resting of the inner gaze. You might get deeper grounding by now turning your inner gaze to the back of your head. If you could rest your eyes right at the back of your head. Expression of eyes in the back of your head came from somewhere. And surrendering now, maybe with a sigh, your deepest state of receiving. your open heart, your open wings. Resting in your stillness for as long as you're able. You're ready to create awareness and joy, simplicity of simple movements, feeling. And eventually making your way onto your side and basking in this shape, this fetal pose, this place of rebirth, reawakening, rejuvenation, and back to our youth. Only as young as your spine is flexible. Perhaps this was what Constellion was looking for. Taking your time as you come up to sitting, if that's where you're going, just feeling that energy bubble around you. It's very real, it's palpable, and you're just breathing that in and out. You are so much water. This is a good place to be right now. Whenever you feel ready, bringing your hands to rest on your heart, in front of your heart, anywhere. Bowing your chin, lifting your heart, just receiving the essence of all that you are, the magic of you. You're incredibly unique. That is your gift. That is your gift. You say, embrace your weird. And into that, friends, will seal this practice with an oath. Inhale, lengthen yourself tall and release that breath completely. Inhale fully. Oh. Release the breath into your hands. All your play, all your joy, all your curiosity, and your great, great presence. And offer that to yourself, this great reminder. More than you see. Send it out. Yes. So much love. Thank you, friends. Enjoy this magical day as it unfolds. And thank you. Oh, beauties. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ciao, friends. Go back to sleep.